Take two. So what I want to do is touch base real quick before I go get my baby serviced on the mental health help they offer nowadays is just a fucking joke. It's always about what you call, they don't want to hear from you till you're on the edge already and ready to, go. During COVID, at the end of COVID, as we were all coming out of it, they knew a lot of people were, stuck in their houses by themselves, had a lot of mental problems. And they're like, hey, you need to talk about your issues, stuff like that, before you get, the bad thoughts. Give us a call. We'll talk to you. And I called them, and they were like, he's like, all right, what are you doing? I'm calling you guys. What the fuck do you think I'm doing? I need to talk to somebody. I probably had a couple shots, and I was all emotional and shit, I was fucked up. Being alone for 2 years will do that. And, it was crazy because the guy's like, well, this is for when you're on the ledge, if you will. I'm just going to call it that. You're on the edge of the ledge, okay? You're at the end of the road. And I'm like, wait, you guys are supposed to be the toll people up the road a ways to keep me from getting down the road. You're supposed to talk to you. That's what it says. And he goes, yeah, that's not what we are. We're the what hotline, the side hotline, and we're the edge hotline, if you will. I'm like, that's not what it says. It says if I need to talk to somebody to call, and you guys are supposed to keep me from getting down that road to the edge, help me process the shit in my head. And when I was younger, nowadays you call it ADHD and all this other bullshit. But it's just, I process shit a lot faster than most people do. It's like by the time you're halfway explaining it, I've already wrapped it up in a tortilla and served it to a customer. Okay. It's crazy in the processing, and in school, I could process a lot faster. I did my work faster. Why are you sitting there? I'm done. No, you're not. I just gave it to you. I'm done. And they're like, there's no way. Oh, you are done. Well, be quiet, and then I couldn't be quiet because, I was done. I would have some fun. Hey, it's supposed to be when you're done with your shit, you get to have fun. But anyway, they didn't know what to do with it. They put us in educationally handicapped classes instead of, the accelerated classes that they have after the fact. And then they came up to you Housers. Hey, shit, we could have been that. God knows where I would have been if you guys would have had those advanced classes, to push us forward and allow us to go forward, in a different environment. But you guys held a lot of us Gen X back, man. That was fucked up. But anyway, I did know how to act. Kind of like now. Only now it scares the shit out of people. But when I went in to my first psychiatrist, because I had two, the first one freaked out. I said, I don't know how to act or what to do, or what am I supposed to be doing? How am I supposed to act? Am I supposed to react to situations and discussions and stuff? I mean, what do I do? What am I supposed to do going forward? What do I do now? And they the lady just kind of looked at me, was like, what? I said, I don't know how to act. I'm already thinking 5 times faster than you. I don't know how to act with that. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How am I supposed to take what I have to comprehend what's going on in life to move forward, and then how do I act out in the world? I don't want to just get a job and follow that shit that you all do, that you all been trained to do. I mean, that's just some crazy shit in itself. But smart, but some crazy shit that you guys even fell for it. But, and still a fall for it. That's even worse. But she wound up after our first session. She goes, I need to go get your mom. And she came and she goes, I can't help him. And I appreciate, at least she was honest with it. And she goes, why don't you take him over to this guy and see if he would be able to either help you or direct you, point you in a direction where he could get some help. She goes, he does have some issues. Shit, Sherlock. Well, she could have told me like a half an hour ago she couldn't help me. So they let me spew my shit, and I got to repeat it again. You know, and then I went and met the guy, and Mr. Sigmund Freud. And I was with him for about 15 minutes before he started, like, stopping me. He go, okay, let me get this straight. So you don't know how to act in the real world? Yes. Because of the way you think? Yes. And then, let me get this other straight. So not only do you not know how to act, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing? Yes. While you're acting in the class? Yes. Yes, yes. And then even if you did know these things, how would you handle it moving forward? Yes. I need somebody to tell me how to act. I said, I didn't know anybody that thought like me until I got to those classes. And we were all kind of the same. How are we supposed to act? Do we sit here and just be quiet? Do we shut up? How are we supposed to? Do we do what everybody else is doing? Because that seems kind of boring. You know, it was like we were all the same. And I was like, oh, I'm not alone in this shit. I am not alone in this basket. I'm like, okay. There's somebody else in this house. You know, and it was crazy. And I saw him for about, I think maybe 6 times. And nowadays I know what it is. It's my dark side. It comes out. And it started coming out. And he was like, why do you seem completely different from the last couple of times we talked? And then it dawned on me, oh, we never talked about what I call my dark side. And he's like, what is this? And I said, it's I guess it's another persona in me. I don't know. I mean, most people would call it, and it's not right, multi-personalities. And it's not. It's before we all knew about bipolar and all that shit. And when you're in a negative downfall, in a depression, you act like a completely different fucking person. And it's not that you are, it's just that's how you feel at the moment. God damn it, something in my eye. And, you know, once she's like, I don't know about that one. Because they didn't have, you know, the word, oh, you might be bipolar. Do you have, you depressed, you know? Because he'd ask me, are you happy or you're not? I said, I'm not anything. I said, I'm just there. I said, nothing pushes me one direction, nothing pulls me in another. I said, it's just, I'm there. And he's like, well, can you just follow what everybody else is doing? And I'm like, I guess, but it's boring as shit, you know? And sadly, I took that advice and I followed everybody else and I was bored as shit. I'm still bored as shit. But I noticed that when I try to get help today, it's the same goddamn thing. Only now they got names for it. You might be a manic depressive. No shit. That I can figure it out. And then finally one doctor, I saw him, he goes, are you bipolar? I think you're bipolar. Because I asked myself, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm hot, I'm cold. I said, sometimes I'm just in the middle, I'm just flowing with the flow. I go, then I'll turn around, I'm just totally sad for no damn reason. And, you know, the doctor goes, I think you're bipolar. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? And he goes, it's like a line. He goes, and you have your highs and your lows, and sometimes they're higher, sometimes they're a lot lower. You're sad, you're happy, you don't care. He goes, and then you have the fine line. Sometimes you'll just dipping down, coming back just to the line. He goes, and you don't really have any ups. And I was like, yeah, that's how I feel. And he goes, yeah, I think you're bipolar. And when I told my ex-wife that, she was like, explains a lot. I'm like, oh, well, why did nobody tell me this shit? But yeah, now today, it hasn't changed. They just got names for them now. Yeah, I can't concentrate. ADHD. Yeah. Attention deficit. Fuck, you know what I'm talking about, the attention thing. And it's like, and I come to find out now that people with high intelligence, that their mind is always racing, and we could do things really fast. And We have that because we can never finish anything. Because we could start it all day long, over and over and over and over and over and over and over, in different ways, different directions, different things, thus businesses. But we never see it all the way through. And we got to be able to control the ADHD, and then we'll be able to finish and get to the other side. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy, but I've yet to find anybody who can help me. I saw a couple of psychiatrists, was it 2 years ago? And both of them said, yeah, I can't help you. Oh, okay, can you direct me in where to go? Or is it under like a certain category of your psychology? And they're like, no, we don't got anything for you. I got nothing for you. She's like, I can't even think who to even send you to. All right. You know, and then I went to another one, and they're like, they were just, are you suicidal? Are you going to hurt other people? Are you going to, no, motherfucker, I need to talk. I don't know how to feel, how to act, what to do. And it was funny, but it is what it is. Comment down below. What do you guys think? Do you get into these depressions? Have you reached out for help and you just got told, oh, you're not there? I mean, what kind of shit is that? Don't sit there and say that you're there to talk and listen, and then you're not, because we're not on the ledge. You know, we're at the end of the road where we shouldn't be. When we're trying to get down the road, some of us are, and you're just supposed to stop us, you know, like a mile from the end of the road and say, hey, whoa, I can't allow you down there. It's the end of the road. What's going on? You know, you're supposed to be doing that. You know, be our friend, you know, and talk to us, and, you know, help us straighten some of the shit out in our heads, you know. I mean, some people are going to go down the road no matter what. You can't stop them. They're going to go the edge. They're going to look over. Some will lean out too far and be done. And you can't control any of that. And that's the weird thing. But it's like the help they offer, and then if you can't control it, like my bipolar, ADHD, shit like that, here, take these drugs. What? I don't want to take drugs. I took enough drugs. And they probably didn't help me at all either. You know, it was like, you know, one of the things my doctor said too is, I said, my mind's racing like even worse now. And she said, kind of like the pain, you were self-medicating. Yeah, that don't make me happy at all. You know, and I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, I would have never thought that. But it is what it is, just so y'all know. But yeah, if you don't have to, it's like they wanted to give my kid that Ritalin crap. I'm like, yeah, you're not giving my kid that. What else you got? So like, well, we have something similar. No, you're not giving my kid that shit. And in fact, I don't even want my kid on drugs. Okay, I don't want him taking anything. He smokes enough pot today to make up for all that. But it mellows him out and it slows his mind to where he can play video games all day, and he's content. He works in the restaurant business, and he is good what he does. He is a kitchen. He's not a prep. He's like a sous chef now. Not up there, but he's learning it, and you know, it's a skill in itself. So good for him. He's got my hell of a work ethic when I was younger too. And, you know, he buys all his little puffs, and he goes home and he puffs, and he's scrawny as fuck because he don't eat, but he gets on his video games, and he'll play forever. He is content, and he'll get up, go to work, and then come home and do it all over again, and not sleep. But he's content with it, and he's happy. So I can't really, you know, I can't judge him for that. I would like him to stop smoking a pot, but you know, sometimes some of us have to get to a certain point to where we say, okay, that's enough. You know, I did. Why am I doing all these drugs? You know, and I really added them all up, and they were a fuck ton of money I lost. A lot. I mean, it's in the hundreds of thousands that I spent. And I was like, imagine what I could have done if I invested all that, or I just would have like bought a house or something rather than renting them, and you know, and just throwing money. I was just throwing money everywhere, you know, and I was buying all the drugs for everybody. I was the party guy, you know. You wanted to party, you found where Matt was, and I made sure that you were going to be high or down or up or sideways or inside out. I was going to make sure you were going to be doing something that night. And it was crazy, you know, because a lot of my friends are like, what are you doing? Dude, I just went to bed. I'm like, no, stay late, let's go. It's like, dude, I just went to sleep. I've been up all night partying. And it's like, yeah, well, you weren't partying with me. Damn it. You know, all right. And it was partying 24/7, man, 365 days a year for many years. God, since I was 10. So, like, good Lord, almost 20 years partying. That's a lot, you know. We're not even got to drinking and the smoking and shit. But hey, put your comments down below. Like, subscribe, man. Talk about this shit, you know. Have you guys reached out for anybody? Has anybody helped you, or do they give the same, oh, you gotta be on the edge bullshit? And it's like, have you talked to anybody? It's crazy. It's like, I don't understand it sometimes, but it's like, it is what it is. But it's like, why are we playing with a broken system still? And we know it's broken, but yet we continue to use it. I don't understand it. But hey, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I know there's no bell there, but you can hit the bell. Get notifications on my next cool stuff, and let us know. Please donate to our PIF pantry now. I'm just going to call it PIF. Pay it forward, PIF, PIF. I'm going to keep it simple. Donate to the PIF pantry down below so we can help others out. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.